Welcome to Wise Woo Wealthy, the podcast where wisdom meets woo and wealth means more than money. For women 40 plus who are evolving, expanding, and finally doing life on their own terms. This is your space for soulful conversations, intuitive moves, and stories that remind you you're not too late, you're just right on time. I'm your host, Maria Von Loesch. Now let's get into it. Welcome to today's episode. I'm flipping the script on that one word that you hate hearing is to stay consistent. I know it goes in one ear and out the other because it does for me. We're tone deaf. We don't even hear that anymore. I know I don't. But we know that there is something to being consistent. So here's the thing. Consistency without intention is just truly burnout in disguise. I'm flipping the script and talking about compounding. So how, stacking energy and effort and skills and even money in the right direction leads to real momentum. For me, when I think about compounding my efforts, it feels doable. It feels like I have some grace and I have some breathing space to do things. All right, we can't talk about compounding just yet because we need to break down why we just don't love the word consistency anymore. Why are we having a gag reflex now that we hear that all the time? Well, first of all, yes, we hear it constantly, but secondly, it doesn't make sense in a way because a lot of people, when experts are sharing whatever niche it is, fitness, finance, self-care, well-being, but growing your business, you'll hear to stay consistent, but whatever that looks like for you. And I think that that's ridiculous, by the way, because automatically when I hear consistent or consistency, I think of it as every single day and that you're never taking a break. So I'm just exhausted. And I think that you feel that way too. You're exhausted. You're like, oh my God, I'm just on the hamster wheel and I'm just running in circles and I never am taking a break. That's why now experts are adding in that little bit where it's like, well, whatever's consistent for your schedule though, whatever aligns with you. But that's not consistency, really. I don't think that's helpful. That's why I'm bringing forth the word compound, because that makes more sense. Because when you're compounding a skill or an investment or growing your business or whatever, right? Whatever it is, take X, whatever it is, and you're compounding it. You can compound over time and then see the benefits from that. And as I was thinking about how I wanted to share this with you today, I thought of a perfect example. This is like happening in real time right now. So I have a newish woman that I'm working with, and it's not in the way that I traditionally coach or advise or mentor women entrepreneurs. She is actually a top seller in a pretty big brand company, and she has money saved. And she shared with me that she would really love to buy a piece of property, a home, as a rental investment, just on her own, not with her and her husband combined. She wants to do this herself. And I said, oh, that sounds fantastic. So what are you doing to get, well, first of all, when do you want to do this by? And she shared with me that she would like to get there at least like maybe in a year, maybe in 2 years at the most, but within that time frame. And I said, wow, that's great. So what are you doing to get there? And she said, well, I've been saving my money. And I said, okay, are you close enough to a money goal that you have in mind for a down payment? And she says, no, I have my money in a high yield savings account, but sadly, it's just not really gaining a lot because I have to keep putting more in there, and then sometimes I can't. And so it's just very slow. It's slow growth. And I said, okay, but at least you've been doing it, and that's something. So you should definitely be proud of yourself about that. And she says, yeah, but how do I get there quicker? And because I was sharing with her how my husband and I have been, doing various investments over the years. And I actually learned from him some things because I am not a financial expert, a financial wizard. I've had my share of debt and bankruptcies, and but then I've had my share of big wins and good investments. So I've been all over the place. So I shared with this woman what we were doing, what we have been doing, and what I'm personally doing now, and how I'm investing in things that are compounding and also growing at a faster rate. Granted, it's not like quick wins, quick big windfalls of money happening in, weeks or months. It's more like the longer game, a year, 2 years, 5 years. So she asked me, what we're doing and or what I've been doing, what we have been doing, my experience. And I said, look, I can help guide you and mentor you in some of these things. But again, I'm not a financial expert, so I just only know from my experience. And if she wants to get, secondary opinion on things regarding finances, she definitely should with somebody who is more experienced. Without getting into all that detail, I just wanted to share that story because it's a way for her to compound all her efforts into saving and grow that a little more rapidly than the way she's doing it now to reach that goal a little bit sooner instead of a little bit later. So again, when I'm thinking of compounding, and then you can use this as a takeaway as well, it's consistency, right? Or practicing. Sometimes you can look at it as a practice. I know we've all heard about habit stacking. So stacking, depending on what world you're in, what industry you're in, or maybe you're not even in anything anymore and you're just living your life and you're thinking, hey, what's next? It could even be a skill that you want to pick up. For instance, I am relearning Spanish again because I took it for 3 years in high school, and that was a gazillion years ago. And I want to relearn and have conversations in Spanish again. And so I am practicing Spanish. And that is a muscle that I have to rebuild. It's the compounding effort. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen a month from now. It's going to be over time. So that's why I love this word so much, compound, because it is over time and it gives you that grace and flexibility to really be okay with time, because I feel like we're all moving at, the fastest pace ever. Everything is, your attention spans are super short. Everyone's attention spans are super short, and we want it when we want it, and we want everything now, and it's all got to happen now, or, your life's over. And that's just not the way it works. So again, circling back to compounding, I feel that that gives you that, breathing space to allow for these things that you want to transpire in your life. So before this thought had disappeared from my brain, because I have peri brain, I wanted to get it out and record it and share this message with you, because this podcast is also to remind you that it's never too late and that you're always just right on time. All right, that's what I have for you today. And if you're not a subscriber of this podcast, please subscribe, leave me a comment, share if anything resonated with you and you love this episode. And remember to be wise, stay woo, and live wealthy.